Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a few different things when it comes to DSLR scanning. So a while back I did a video on this Valoi system that they had sent me, and this is one of those devices, if you're not familiar with it, that just hold your film so that you can put it under your camera for DSLR scanning. And it's kind of a whole system where you've got like these little pieces here to frame for different formats. You've got the body itself and little wheels, squeaky wheels for transporting the film through, and a dust brush here and a light underneath. It's a whole thing. It's a whole system. And they sent it to me to check out, and I've used it for a little bit. And then recently, Negative Supply sent me a bunch of stuff. Now, there are no strings attached with theirs. There's no obligation to do a review, especially like a positive review. And I mean, there's plenty of reviews out there. I didn't want to do that. Instead, I thought, let's go ahead and just look at what it is and how it compares to like Valoi, which is a lot less expensive. And then also a third option, which I'll bring in here at the end. So let's take a look first at the differences between, I guess, these two different things. Like Valoi, there's only one body. It's a steel body, which is nice. The bottom section is an accessory, and it holds a light, which for me is a Relano. As I drop stuff out, it's a Relano video light. And I bought the light, I bought the cage for the light. Valoi just sent me that top part. And it's okay. I've mentioned before that I've got a little bit of issue with this whole thing. It's, as you saw me turning it over, it falls out way too easily. I also feel like, in my experience, the mask here to change it to 6x7, which there are a bunch of different masks. Did I bring them over? Oh yeah. There are different masks available. There's 645, 6x6, and then the default is just 6x9. There's a 35mm version as well. It's a 35mm version of this. You use the same body. You just put the smaller version and do smaller film. I don't shoot 35mm all that often outside of making videos. So we have everything there. There's a couple issues that I've had with it. The mask, I feel, is too far away from the film, so you get a very blurry, fuzzy edge of where the image is. And then the rollers, let me see if you can see it here. The rollers here, stainless steel, that's nice, and uses little O-rings for gripping the film, but there are no bearings in the body, or between the body and the rollers, so you get that really nasty squeaking sound. I've thought about making the holes bigger and putting in some plastic bearings, but there's not a lot of room, so I'm not sure I would be able to even do that. But if I continue to use this device, it needs it. It also has leveling feet, which I'm going to need to use because it's got a little bit of a wobble. There we go. And the way it's used, you feed your film in through the static eliminating brush. Down into the film gate. Across. Now, granted, I'm using a cut piece of film. Normally you would use just the entire uncut roll. But you gotta get the image started. And there we go. And let's get our light turned on. There we are. And then that's it. What I would do here is simply put it under my camera, get everything I guess kind of dust it off. And then focus all of it. I will say right now, this is a new to me lens. I've not used this lens before. It is the 100mm lens from Minolta, the macro. I've never used it. I got it recently to see how high I have to be. Okay, so I've got everything lined up. I'm going to kind of shade things from the light. No, do I have anything here to do that with? Yeah, use my gray card. Just to shade from the video light here. Okay, so now you can see when we had this put in, if I was going to do another frame, I'll get that down in there. There we are. Gets under the little wheels. Maybe. There we are. And then you transport it. Squeakily. Okay. Let's take that out. We'll use the same negative for the other one. So that's the Valoi system. It is nice that it has leveling feet. I do like that feature. But I really, really hate the squeak. And because of that, I actually sometimes don't even use the roller part. I'll just let the film go past the actual rollers and just pull it by hand just to avoid the squeaking. All right, let's turn this off to save battery. Okay, when it comes to negative supply, we have the light. Which one did they send me? I feel like they sent me doubles of a couple things. So this is the 4x5 light source, the basic Mark II. They sent me two of them. I don't know why, but they're the exact same thing. So we have the light. I'm going to clean this off. I believe they're making these themselves. I don't know if the light is a panel or if it just goes around the edge. I feel like it's probably just around the edge. It does come in a nice box, pretty good padding. Got our power cord and a few different plugs. So let's use the American one. And we'll get this powered on. What I do like about the Valoi is it's got a battery. You can plug it in, but you don't have to plug it in. All right. There we go. It's on immediately. And I don't know the color temperature. It is warmer than this, which is set to 5,000. I would guess this is probably a 4,000 K light. It is supposedly 99 CRI. What I do notice though is the whole unit, well, not the top plate. Top plate seems to be a solid piece of maybe aluminum, but the body here is definitely 3D printed. So is the base. So they are building these from scratch. Don't know what light beads they're using. I could take it apart. Maybe I will one day. I'm not that interested in that part. But it's a decent sized light, and it's supposed to be 4x5. I've got a 4x5 negative here somewhere. Let's see. Get my big book of film here. Just grab one of my old chalkboard photos. So yeah, I mean, it's 4x5 if it's comfortably with a little bit of room on there. I think it's too bright for the exposure of my video camera. So you can't see any of it. But yes, 4x5. You're not going to get any bigger than that, but you do get 4x5. Let's put that back. If I don't put it back now, I'll procrastinate and end up just putting it somewhere and then losing it. Okay, so got a nice light. Then we have two different bodies that they sent me. This is their basic film carrier for medium format. You see, I've not really looked at these. Okay. So again, we've got a 3D printed body, a little bit of, oh, that's not aluminum, that's a plastic. Some kind of matte plastic on one side, glossy on the other. Rubber feet. But yeah, this is all just 3D printed, either PETG or PLA. I'd guess PETG. All right, and then we've got a black acrylic. Oh yeah, this is just acrylic. So I'd say these top faces are acrylic with a matte finish on one side. These are just laser cut. But this is a mask. This is a 6x7 mask. And it slides into a groove on the bottom. Doesn't lock in or anything. It just slides until it ends. So I'm just looking at the 3D print here. Since I've been getting more into 3D printing, I've just noticed more things. We're using a textured bed. All right, and then the whole body just sets down from the top. That's it. And then there's this accessory, which, is it open? I don't know if I've opened this. Oh yeah, I have. If I can get it open now. It's a little Ziploc. So this is simply a unit to mask off the excess light and then allow this to set on there without sliding. So let's move this over. Okay, so here's what we've got as a unit. And let's get that same negative in here. A little bit of dust. All right, and it just slides in. Somewhere there's a film gate. There it is. Come on. Of course, I'm doing this from the side I can't see. And there it is. There's our film inside, being held somewhat straight, somewhat flat. It is the image on the end, and that's always hard. Okay, let's focus this. Now, this does not have leveling feet, so you really need to be able to adjust your camera in some fashion in order to get it square. Fortunately, with the Bluegrass Photographic stand, I have the means to adjust the angle at which the camera is to the board. I need to lower this anyway because it's a little too high up. But I am able to change the angle of this and lean it up and down, as well as side to side. This is a prototype of a new version coming out, so don't start asking me about it. It's not ready. Well, it has better masking on the top and bottom of the negative. Well, I appreciate the rubber grip feet. It makes it difficult to slide around. Okay, I'm going to block the light again. They do make a cone, like a lens hood, to prevent stray light. I'm just going to use this for now. And there we go. We'll take a look at that and see if we've got any issues from it. All right, let's take the negative out. And then one other thing they sent me is the Pro version of the same thing. So same light, different little base. Let's get that put on there. Okay, and that sits on there like that. I need to get my mask out. Change from one to the other. There we go. Don't like that. There we go. Only fits one way. And there we are. All right, let's get the film in there. Now, unlike the basic, this also has a little wheel for advancing the film. How far does it need to get in there? There we go. Hey, that's great, except it doesn't advance. Why not? Why isn't this advancing? Getting stuck on something. Oh, it's getting stuck on the top of the wheel and not down in the wheel. There we go. Except now it's got a weird bend in it. And I can see that bend in it. That's not good. It's not even and smooth. So it's got a buckle in my film right here. Okay, got that out. But now, my film's stuck. I won't go the other way. Well, it doesn't like to go in reverse, that's for sure. That's because of the way that it pushes the film at an angle. Alright, alright, alright. We'll get that down. I don't like what it's doing here. Now, I can't blame any of this on them. This is all me making bad choices. Good thing it's a negative I don't particularly even use for anything. I don't know why I'm trying to get that in there, because I'm not advancing beyond the first frame. I just want to see how it works. And I'm sure it works fine if you don't have stupid people like me using it. Construction wise is a little bit different. We do have a lot of 3D printed area here, but the sides are most definitely metal. Steel or aluminum, I can't tell. I don't know. By the weight, these very well could be powder coated steel. I feel like they could be. Now I gotta get that back on there. There we go. Okay, we're in there. We're on. Get our dust off. Okay, well everything there seems to actually work like it's supposed to. This is all user error because I've not used this before. This advance, definitely on a bearing. It's all closed up inside. I can't see, but there's plenty of room for a bearing. It's got a little access panel. And I'm fairly certain I saw on their Instagram installing ball bearings, like racer bearings. So I'd say that's probably what they're doing here. All right, let's get this centered up. There's a lot of excess room with this mask on the ends of the negative. Okay, same light, same exposure. Let's block off our excess here from the video light. And we'll go from there. Okay, well, their stuff seems well made. It is pricey though, especially for 3D printed stuff. I mean, even if this used an entire roll of PET G, you're looking at like what, $20, $25 for a roll of that material. Even, you know, yes, there are some machined parts here, but my goodness, what they charge for this stuff is crazy. Okay, So let's get rid of that. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to need that in a moment. We're going to need this. So I've got one more option here that I am borrowing from somebody. And we're going to move this stuff out of the way. I've kludged up my whole walkway here. What I have here is a Beseler Negatrans negative carrier. So we'll put that over the light. And this is basically a transport system for film in an enlarger that you would simply print one negative next to the other. So let's see. I've not played with this before either, so it'll be a learning experience for us all. Okay, so it's got a little rubber belt system. They made these in different sizes. This isn't moving here. Okay, somehow we have to get the film in the gate. There we are. I think it wasn't open, maybe? There we are. Yeah, that works nice. Get the dust off the light. Now I feel like the film's probably supposed to go in this track so it can be held flat. Oh yeah, there we are. Oh yeah, okay, so you use a little switch here, holds the film flat. But how do you disengage it? That's the question, right? Because I got it to disengage once. Oh, okay, you just have to force it. Well, that's interesting. But with this whole thing, I feel like I don't have the film in there all the way to the side, maybe? Because I feel like I'm cutting off a lot of image area up here. On the other hand, it's all the way to the side. Okay, well. Yeah, just gotta play around with that. Okay, let's get this centered up. Oh yeah, you're definitely getting a little bit of a crop. So that's just part of it. Lock that down, dust it off. And it's a little closer, so let's move that down. There we go. Gotta manually slide stuff around. Okay, there we are. Now, the negative carrier, the negative carrier itself is trimming a lot of the edge off. So I'm definitely getting a lot more like cropped in than I was with the others. But that may help with like eliminate light bleed, which is a problem I feel like I've had with some of the, oops, let's turn that around so it's the black side. Some of the other light systems here, or carrier systems, is a lot of bleed around the edge, which I feel gives me edges that need some more correction and masking after, in post-processing. So these are nice. Definitely weird. Takes some getting used to, for sure. I don't know if I would ever use this in the dark room. I want to go all the way through. I want to do it. There we go. Come on, you can do it. This is not made for cut film. Just like, ooh. There we go. All right, so just like these, it's really made for the full uncut roll of film. In this case, obviously this is a shorter piece, so things are getting gummed up a little bit in all of these. But again, that's user error. That's because I'm not using them with a full uncut roll like I should be. Overall impressions though, ease of use. The Valoi is easy to use. It's well constructed out of steel and it's fairly affordable. But you're going to deal with that terrible, terrible squeaking of metal on metal, which I am not a fan of one bit. Negative supply has a much smoother action. It's very, very well constructed, but it's very expensive for what it's providing. So I don't know about that. I mean, thank you, Negative Supply, for sending them to me. That's probably the system I'll end up using just for my hearing sake. But I could not imagine trying to purchase these. I can see where a lab might, but no way I could. It is a nice little light. We'll have to check that out with a negative or a slide at some other time. I don't have those ready to do today to do such. The negative trans, I mean, if you can find that, it seems like a pretty good system. You'll have to set up your own light. You'll have to, do some fiddling. I know the person who purchased these, he got them at like a table sale at a local photo store for just a couple bucks. Because I was with him when he bought them. It's a nice, heavy negative carrier if you're going to actually print. Negative transport carrier for this sort of thing. He did have to refurbish it a little bit, I think, with a new belt. The old one was worn out, but obviously he got it working. He got both a 35mm version and the medium format version here. Does it have a mask? I seem to remember him saying that it had gates that moved. Because this is 6x7. Oh yeah. Well, it's 6x7 or 6x6. Just with these two little sliding masks. You're not going to get a variety of sizes. Though I'm sure you could mask this some other way. But you're not going to be doing 6x9. So it's nice. But it is definitely something you're going to find on the used market. But for a home solution, I think this works really, really well. If you're able to do like a permanent solution, that would work very well. Overall though, do I like one better than the other? No, I think all of these are pretty good. I think you're gonna, if you're in the market for something like this, I think you're gonna do pretty good no matter which one you get. So we'll look at the results here as we wrap up. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Let's roll those 3-4 image footage here and finish it off. Thanks again.